Hello, everybody. So I am sitting in front of my former work computer, and now you're probably saying, "Wait, what? Former? What does he mean?" Um, Today has been a very interesting day. Um, Today I was fired. Yeah, that's right. After 4.5 years working for this company, I was let go. And in all honesty, I actually feel good about it. But that being said, I want to share a few things that I wanted to share with all of you. Oh, sorry. Sorry. Making plans for the AIDS walk. AIDS, AIDS walk. Yep. Um, so I wanted to share these things with you about call centers. Um, Call centers are probably the shittiest job that you can get next to flipping burgers. But I want to make a video about. I totally have a cocaine problem, by the way. How much my I'm kidding. I would never do drugs. Only marijuana. Only marijuana. Oh, and you can see my tattoo. It's nice. I like this shirt. I love this shirt. Shirt. Of course, this is stripping. Yeah. But you didn't know that. But anyways, I'm going to take these off right now because I've been wearing them all day. There's one thing that you there's several things that you should know about calling a call center. I'm going to start off with number one. And these are probably the reason why I was fired. Well, they're close to it, essentially. One, you're calling the call center for help. You're calling them. So when they when they give you instructions to do something, just do it. I mean, I was doing tech support for 4.5 years. Just do what they say. Because odds are that they know more about this product than you ever will. Okay? So that's number one. God, now I have to go pee. I'm really sorry. I'm gonna try and speed through this. Number two. Don't let your kids call in without you. At the very least. There were so many times that I had callers that were, 11, 12, 13, and I just said, okay, it's nighttime, first of all. Second of all, it's a school night. And third, where the hell are your parents? And it was bad. It was bad because there's a difference in development as far as your brain is concerned. Yes, kids take guidance a lot easier, but at the same time, a lot of things that have to be done can only be executed by an adult, by a parent. So Number 3, and I know that there's number 3, and I'm trying to remember what it was. Oh yeah, have identifying information ready. Serial numbers, phone numbers, emails, whatever. If the person that you call says, "Hey, I need your name, your phone number, your email address, type email, and I also need a serial number or an identifying number for whatever product you're calling about," be ready with them. Number 4, if you're calling for technical support, not a support, by the way, if you're calling for technical support, have the item with you. There's a number of times where I had a wife or a husband or even a kid calling in saying, "Hey, my XYZ is not working." Okay, we can fix it now over the phone, and 90% of the time they can fix it over the phone. God, I have to cut my fingernails. That said, I would have those people call in and say, "Yeah, this is not working. Can you help me?" Yeah, sure. Go ahead and pull it out, and we'll start working on it. And then the person would say, "Oh, I need to have it with me. I need to have it here. Oh, it's with my husband." Or, "Oh, it's with my grandmother. It's her phone or her computer or computer, laptop, whatever." And it was a little mind-boggling. It was kind of one of those moments where it's like you're calling technical support for help with an item, and you don't have it with you. So, last one, number 5. When someone says, "Hey, I can't do anything for you," that was anymore. We've reached the end of the line. 9 times out of 10, they are telling the truth, and that was not the last one, by the way. I lied. I like to do that. But although not anymore, because after the last breakup, I'm finding out that my ex infected me with HIV because he was sleeping around. Anywho, that's beside the point. 9 times out of 10, they're telling the truth. They are telling you the exact truth. It's the equivalent of going into a store and saying, "Oh, do you have any of this in the back?" If they had any in the back, they would have restocked it. If somebody says, "I can't work on this device anymore," or "I can't help you with your account anymore," or anything of the sort, they can't do it. Just saying. And now the last one, number 6. Asking for a manager. We've seen the memes. We've seen them all around. And there's Michael. Give me 1 second. I have to check on this. Trying to tell him that I lost my job today. And he wants to talk about the AIDS block. Anyway, so 9 times out of 10, the manager, asking the manager, asking for a manager or something like that. 9 times out of 10, the manager is going to sugarcoat it, of course, and say, oh, there may be hope in the future. No. There's no hope in the future. There's nothing. So stop beating a dead horse and just let bygones be bygones, okay? We know that you've spent probably hundreds, maybe even thousands of dollars on products from the company or whatever, whoever you're calling. That said, all likeliness, shit's not gonna work. I can't tell you how many times I had to say, yeah, I'm sorry, but, nothing's going to work. There's nothing I can do. Yeah, that is my list of things that you should know about call centers. Few little last tidbits. Most of those call workers are under extreme stress when you call them, especially later in the day, because they've already been going at it for several hours. They're done. And that's how I was feeling this last week. I would get to the end of an 8-hour shift, and I just wouldn't give a fuck. I stopped. I'd have people call in and say, hey, this isn't working, and I'd be like, okay. And then eventually, after all the silence, they'd sit there and be like, hey, are you still with me? Oh, yeah, I'm still here. We can try doing a step. And I'd only give them one step, and that was it. And then I'd sit there and say, you know what, it's not going to work after this. I'm sorry. If this doesn't work, then you're shot. I'm sorry, I can't do anything. And that's what happens. So there's a general apathy that happens later in the day. So call earlier in the day. It's probably a good idea. And remember my tips from before. Have identifying information with you as well as the product. Be ready to troubleshoot right then and there. Sometimes they'll offer to schedule a callback where they call you or whatever. But most likely they just want to get it done and over with because they know that the call load will get larger as the day goes on until, close. Right up until the end of my shifts over the last week, I was taking calls up until the very last minute, and it was unfortunate because at that point I was done. And actually, there's an entire list of things. It's okay. It was posted on Facebook, and it's what prompted me to make this video. Not a photo. No, not that one. No, not that one. My roommates are being very loud. Not that one. Okay, it's the side effects from working in a call center. The people who are working there, their empathy for everything and everyone has increased, which is good. It's something that they train you, to work at a call center. They're like, oh, you have to be empathetic. You have to make sure that the customer feels like you give a shit. When in reality, you don't. You don't give a shit at all. Sorry, my roommates are yelling. The inability to speak on the phone after finishing a shift. There have been several times where I got off a shift and I was like, I don't want to talk to the world. I don't want to. I'm done. I'm fried. There's severe weight gain going on, so there's some self-esteem issues going on there. And I just remembered another one. Yelling is a no-no. Yelling is a huge no-no. And the reason being is that, in all likeliness, you're going to cause the call center person to give even less of a shit than they already didn't give, if that makes sense. There's a few other side effects of working in a call center. There's extreme paranoia from that job on. All calls are recorded and monitored for quality and training purposes. You know that line. You've heard it very, very many times. The person that you're working with is going to be paranoid. So if they sit there and ask you to go through a step, go through it. Just go through it. Even if you say, oh, I've already done it, they have to make sure that you've followed their protocols. And last, panic attacks. Panic attacks are not fun. There we go. This mostly happens when you're doing stuff that isn't like customer related. You know, you're doing some training, you're doing some office work, stuff like that, and then you have to come back to it, and there's a panic attack that just sits there and rests, and it sits there on your heart for a good 45 minutes to an hour, and you just sit there and you're like, fuck, crap, I fucking hate being on the phones, and that happened with me. Now, I'm sure that all of you are wondering why I got fired. I went off in a chat room. I basically said that I wanted to hit my customers over the head with a chair. Not something nice to say. And for all of you who want to go and work in a call center and find it to be your dream job, I beg you to reconsider, because you will deal with if you're going to be dealing with Americans, they are the most intolerable, egotistical, self-righteous. They only think about themselves. We'll go with that. And that's working with that day in and day out will wear on you. It's worn on me over the last, it really kicked in after my breakup. I came back to work and I realized that the world is shit. The world is complete and utter. I mean, look at the elections right now. The debate that's going on right now, I'm not even paying attention to it. I'll get snippets over the next few days from online. But yeah, so anyways, that's my video about working in a call center and how I got fired. Saying that you're going to hit your customers over the head with a chair is obviously not work appropriate, and I know that, but at the same time, I was venting. I believe that day I had dealt with many, many stupid people. And that's another thing that you need if you're considering this as a job. You will deal with a lot of stupid people. A lot. It's not some glorified. And in all likeliness, you will play, your secondary job will be secretary, getting people to the right departments. Those calls were actually nice because it was like, oh, hey, I can't actually help you with this, but I know somebody else that can. I'm going to get you over to them. It was a quick 5-minute call, and it helped with your call stats. And you will end up worrying about call stats as well, customer satisfaction. Oh my god, shut the fuck up, Mike. Call stats, call handle time, after call work time, customer satisfaction, issue, making sure that things are resolved for the customer. You become panicked when it got to the point where I started panicking every time my manager would say, hey, I want to meet with you. Okay, what about... Oh, it's just going to be a one-on-one. Okay, what about... Oh, we just got to meet. Okay, what about... It was very, like, your heart started pumping very fast. You're like, shit. And this time, it was right. My heart was right. My heart sat there and said, fuck, I'm going to get fired. And then I got fired. I made a phone call, met with my area manager and my manager basically told me, hey, we're letting you go because of this comment that you made. It's not the first time, and we find that you might not be a good fit here with the company. And I basically said, you know what, you're right, I'm not. I fucking hate this job. I hate it with a passion. Yeah, it had great benefits, but it's fucking shit. And my manager was basically said, that's your opinion, and thank you for being so candid with us. And I said, Well, thank you for having me, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. And I'm gonna go now. And so I logged out, and I shut down, and that is the end of my call center career. Now to get on unemployment. I paid into the system since I was 15. I think I'm allowed to get on it. So I hope all of you have a great rest of your weekend, or week and weekend. I now have nothing to do but stay at home and write. The novel will be published in January. So come this January, I will be publishing the novel, and I will put a link to it for the iBook store. I hope at least some of you are Apple users. I particularly like Apple. All my hardware here is Apple. My phone, obviously. I had the watch, but it was stolen from me by fake husband. Remember him? Yeah, he stole it. Anyways, my roommates are getting high, and I kind of want to get high with them, so I'm going to go ahead and let you guys go. You have a great rest of your week.